Hey YouTube, I'm Steffi. Welcome to my world, Steffi's world. And I want to do a recap of season 2, episode 1 of P Valley. If you have not seen it, go ahead and turn this off now because I'm talking about everything what happened. The episode actually dropped at 12:01 yesterday. I stayed up and I caught it. I just had to see it. So they are back. The long awaited, much anticipated show on Stars. And I'm going to give you another tip. If you're economically challenged like myself, Stars is running a special where you can sign up and get Stars for $3 per month for the next 6 months. In December, it should increase to $8.99 or whatever package you decide to go with. So, like I said, if you're economically challenged, go ahead and sign up. It's legit. I did it. I actually have the app on my phone and I have the app on my TV. So, like I said, this is well worth it. Do it if you don't already have it. So, let's get into it. It starts off with the dad that's at his own birthday party, and it is some bad kids that give baby kids a run for their money. These some bad, loud kids, and he's looking like, I just need to get out of here. So he tells the wife, I'm going to 7-Eleven. You see how coronavirus is affecting everything because you see the mask in the car. So you know that, hey, some of us still riding around with what? Mask in our car. When he gets to the intersection, he sees a huge billboard of who? Breath of Life Church. Mercedes' mama, Miss Patrice. But what's funny, and I think it's the work of Mercedes, is this BI is spray painted up there. Like I said, they got Mercedes written all over it because I'm thinking who else would be that mad with her except for Mercedes? Who should be? Who has every right to be? So he sees an arrow, pink arrow that's spinning around and a light emanating. And he has a closer look at it's directed him to titties, wings, and car wash. So when he pulls up to the booth, he sees Haley and Big L. And Haley is in all white, see-through, and she has a plastic shield. So like I said, you really see how this thing is going. And you have different packages of what you can get. And he was like, make my car feel like a Mercedes. So he went ahead, took care of his business. She said, roll up your windows, don't get wet. When he pulls forward, he sees the silhouette is dark and then a little bit of light come on, but he sees Uncle Clifford and he thinks that Uncle Clifford is about to do something. He like, oh, hell no. Uncle Clifford like, don't be scared. He gives him some other instructions and he tells him to keep his hands on the steering wheel. Well, when Uncle Clifford steps out the way, I'm just going to say it's bend over and touch your toes. It's starting. He sees a few girls in cages. Some other girls begin to wash his car, and he is enjoying the soap, the pressed up on the glass. He's enjoying himself. He pulls forward and he sees Mercedes. She's in her cowgirl get up and she has upped and changed her game. She's doing her thing. And when she hits her money move, sparks comes out of her shoes. That's how Mercedes is doing it. So he's still not done. He pulls forward to get his weed wangs free. And Uncle Clifford gives it to him. And he also gives him some wipes to kind of handle that on his dashboard. Like I said, old boy did enjoy himself. I recognize him for something. Somebody say he plays on The Chi, but I don't watch The Chi. So, but I've seen him somewhere else. But I recognize that brother. It is after the night is over. Mercedes grabs her shoulder, so you could tell that she's hurt. And I think she was hurt from all the shenanigans that happened in the Paradise Room from the last season. So Haley asks her about it. Mercedes tells her she's fine. So she goes out back. Haley's handling the books, the money she's paying everybody out is instant. They can look on their phone and see whether or not they got paid. And it starts. Mercedes is like, is this all my Skrilla? This doesn't seem right. And they're having to split with Big L. So that's like another person to have to split the pot with. And she was like, what'd he do? He was like, my weed wangs, respect my expertise. But Mercedes is still like, no, they come for the Mercedes experience. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. So you have this dancer toy, and you can tell that she is ready for Mercedes to go ahead and have her last dance and get on. You could tell she wants her position. And she like, how long you been saying that? So they was getting ready to really mix it up and start going there when they see Miss Mississippi on the TV. And they start, oh, they go Miss Mississippi. Uncle Clifford look, and then when he seen Lil Murder, he really snapped. He was like, "We don't say that name up in here." He's mad. They lost Miss Mississippi, Get 'em Gidget, and probably some other dances with everything that happened, and then with coronavirus. So, like I say, you see how everything is being affected. They go in to talk more business, and Haley is pretty much like, "How much of the money do we have left?" And she bought the paint for 250,000, I think it was. They owed like 55K. She paid that off. So she was like, "How much you have left?" Big L and Uncle Clifford had the audacity to tell her 25K. And she was not happy. She was like, where did that money go? Uncle Clifford was like, "I helped the girls stay afloat during all of this. We had to renovate the Paradise Room because of you and your shenanigans. And just everything else." And they just been recently denied for a PPE loan because they deemed them as non-essential. Uncle Clifford was like, "I came up with this idea for P-Land." That's what they calling it right now. And he was like, "And I'm only getting 15%. Maybe I need to up my percentage." So they hear a commotion outside, and the girls are excited because they just lift the lockdown. So Uncle Clifford like, "Oh yeah, we getting ready for the reopening of the bank." But followed by that news, the mayor died of coronavirus, the mayor who was played by Isaiah Washington. So they kind of took a minute and looked at that. So it cuts away to, you see somebody getting out of their car, getting off of work. They're taking off their PPE. So you know it's somebody in the healthcare uh, side of things. And it's actually Andre's wife. They showed him in Atlanta. She gets in, she goes downstairs, she takes her PPE off, and she's calling him upstairs for something. He's playing the video game, not answering. So she goes upstairs and she tells him, like, "You're not answering your phone and you've missed a lot of calls." But the minute she said, "Who is Haley?" he snatched that phone with the quickness. Well, he looks on there and he finds out about his godfather. He had no idea. So he talks to someone, and the minute his wife hears funeral, she has a whole full freak out moment. And she was like, "You can't go to that funeral. It's simply not safe." She tells him how many patients she lost that day. And he pretty much like, "I'll be safe. I'm just gonna go and pay my respects." So at that point, she just gives up. She doesn't even try to stop him. Lil Murder is with DJ Never Scared. He's working on his music, and the next single is probably gonna be Stupid Rich. I'm still on Over Love. I'm still on that. But Stupid Rich, it got a little beat to it, and he worked on a beat, and he actually flipped over some pots and pans and did that little tink 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 to it. So they're in there working on a beat. He gets a knock at the door, handles his transaction, but another car is coming down the road at a slow creep. And the guys just wanted to ask him, like, "Hey, when we getting some new music?" And he told him, he said, "Soon." But he was basically with his eye on the guy in the back, who I got a messy feeling from. That didn't sit right with me. Something is up. And he had his gun in his waistband. So Lil Murder is running, and something is about to happen. It was something with that guy on the back. Haley is living with Mercedes. That we find that out. And she's also telling her, "I'm going to negotiate to get you more off the door so you won't have to work as hard with your shoulder and everything." But she's also contemplating on bringing in some new girls, and Mercedes ain't with that. Miss Mississippi is doing videos from home. She has a room set up where she has a pole. She can do her thing. She still can go live. And she's right at home. Still with the abusive baby daddy. They have 2 kids now. And he ain't working, but worrying about what time she got to log on and how many followers she got. Still a messy, effed up situation. Mercedes talks to her girls virtually. So she has the building that Haley helped her get, and she's ready for them to come back. But a lot of them say their mamas can't afford to pay, and they don't think it's safe. They want to wait till coronavirus over. So she has a building and no girls. Lil Murder goes to see his manager, who's working at a funeral home. Actually, when he got there, the dude was in the casket. He has a conversation with him, telling him that he wants to go on tour and they need to get back out there. And he leaves and tells him, "I ain't afraid of living." But my question is, are you afraid of dying? Because I really believe that Lil Murder is trying to get up out of Dodge for a reason. It's something going on. I just can't put my finger on it. Haley sees Andre outside the funeral home. She goes up there and they have a conversation, a civil conversation. And she tells him that grief never goes away, it just changes. And that funerals are for the living. So I think she was kind of speaking to her situation and some of the things that she had been through, and she switched off in the rain. Probably the moment that got to me the most. Miss Mississippi sees Diamond working security outside of the store that she's at, and she think her charm gonna work and she gonna get in without a mask. He's the mask police, and he was like, no. Then she wants to talk about everything. He ain't having that either. He wants nothing to do with her, but it's coming from a place of hurt. Yes, he's angry, but it's more hurt. And she was like, I'm trying to apologize to you. And he was like, I'm good. And finally, he just told her, Keyshawn, get the F up out of here. He ain't got nothing for her. And I felt bad, but as somebody who's been in an abusive relationship, I know why she did what she did. And that's why it's best to keep people, don't involve people, because it could go like that, and they are going to be very mad with you. They had the mayor's funeral. Lime green was the color, and they gave him a send-off that he did not deserve. We know he was the biggest devil, but Andre ended up being a pallbearer, one of the pallbearers. Andre ended up getting up to speak and mask down and doing all this and around all these folks. And he was back at the house with his mask down, taking a smoke. I can already see this is going, and I got a feeling he's going to take coronavirus back home. I got a feeling. Some conversations happened on that porch, and Uncle Clifford showed up and shut it down in all his lime green glory. Like I said, lime green is my new color because I really loved seeing that. Andre hears a knock at the door later that night, and he gets out there, and there's 2 stacks on the porch. The half brother of those 2 brothers that just wanted to pay out for the land, and the one brother held out for the lease agreement, he's going to need Andre's representation. And one of the brothers is also the interim mayor. So this is about to get real interesting with all of that. Lil Murda had hit Miss Mississippi up and asked her about her tour. And she hit him back and was like, I'm down to do a 12-city tour, 12 nights, 12 different cities. We can call it the Dirty Dozen. And he was actually rapping in the mirror. He smiled, and he just went and just sat down just to kind of absorb everything. That's how it went off. So this is season 2, episode 1 of P Valley. I think we're off to a good start. It answers some questions. It shows you where things are now. And this is going to be a real interesting season. Again, if you're economically challenged, Starz is running a special. If you like what you heard, share, like, and subscribe to my channel. I come in here, I will review this one and other shows that I'm watching. And last but not least, I always close any live broadcast that I do. Love one another. Till the next time, peace.